Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Traveling with Sam. Once again, I am in beautiful Prague, Czech Republic, and going to explore more with my dad and stepmom. So I hope you like this edition. I hope you will visit one day if you haven't, and feel free to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are ready to explore more, let's go. Today, April 6th, there's a big half marathon here in Prague, so some runners are getting ready. I saw a lot of them on the way over into this area, and one runner in front of me getting to the race. So yeah, it's a nice day. It's supposed to be very pleasant and even warm, so nice day for running. But I am not going to join the half marathon today. Time to take the metro. Starting our walking tour, going to the castle today. My first time to go there. So getting on the tram.
Danish astronomist Tycho Brahe and German astronomist Johannes Kepler. They have their statues here because they were working here back then in the 16th century. But I will be talking about this topic later when we're going to get to the castle complex. Please, for now, just remember their faces. We're gonna get over there.
So arriving near the castle. Here's the abbey over here. It's our guide, Kuba. They go by short names here, and his full name or legal name, Jakob. Gorgeous day.
City center of Prague is based on 5 historical towns. On the other side of the river we have the old town, new town, Jewish town, and this side of the river is the castle district and lesser town. Lesser town is the area which is more closer to the river, so we are already in the castle district now. And as I said, it was not only the complex itself, but also several other institutions, like for example this monastery. This is a Strahov monastery. It was founded at the beginning of the 12th century, which makes it one of the oldest monasteries in Czechia. It's still running until nowadays, and also in the Middle Ages. Very often the church was the one who was keeping all the wisdom, because priests were the only people who could read and write. So there's also a huge Baroque library, which is based on the collection of the books that was done by the monks through the centuries. So in case you would like to visit it during your stay here in Prague, you have a possibility.
Walking in the castle grounds now. Look at this view. Look at this first viewpoint. New perspective. Like the Paris. But not Paris, because we're in Prague. Eiffel Tower.
From the old town we have the Jewish town, and on the right from the old town we have the new town. This is the castle district, and this in front of us, this is lesser town. Here this area. So this is called Petřín. It's the biggest park here in the city center. As I also said, in the Middle Ages, the water was polluted and all the people were just drinking beer and wine. So one of the things that the monks were also doing was producing wine. So this was originally used as the vineyards, which used to belong to the monastery. Nowadays, it's the biggest park here in the city center with Petřín Tower over there on the hill. It's a lookout tower. It was built as a copy of Eiffel Tower, and actually, because it's located on the hill, so technically it is higher than the original Eiffel Tower. Now, we're gonna get to the center. Here most of the political institutions are located. For example, this building, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Why are all the political institutions here? Because originally Prague Castle was the seat of the royal family, and all the noble people, when they wanted to build their palaces, they wanted to build them as close to the castle as
Very picturesque and cute here. Also some cafes.
For example, this building, which is the Schwarzenberg Palace, is nowadays one of the houses of the Czech National Gallery. The Czech National Gallery doesn't have one central building. The collections are all around the city. In this building is mainly the Baroque collection. However, the building itself is very Renaissance, because if you have a look at the facade, so the technique how it was made. So it's called sgraffito, which is based on an Italian verb graffire, which means to scratch. And castle. Prague Castle is the seat of the head of our country for more than 1,000 years. It was the seat of our dukes, then it was the seat of our kings, and nowadays it's the seat of the president. What you see right now, this is the most modern part of Prague Castle. This is the new royal palace, and it was built in the 18th century when Maria Theresia was reigning. On the tour, we're gonna go back in time. We're gonna go from the most modern one to the oldest one. Originally, the entrance to the castle was not this gate in front of us, but the gate which is behind. And when Maria Theresia was reigning, they built the palace on the gate. So there was the gate, and then they built the building on it. And they created this new gate in front of us with the statues. And those are titans. And they are there to have a psychological effect, because Prague Castle has 4 courtyards. This is the first courtyard, the entrance one. So, if there was a foreign monarch coming to visit our monarch, would have to go through this gate, so would already see before entering the castle, like, you are the weak one, you're gonna be beaten. And this is used until nowadays for foreign visits of our president. So the foreign head of state are driven by car in front of the gate, and they have to pass through it.
Changing of the guards.
Here she is following up. I get on my shoulders, really.
Just when you see something. Yeah. Thank you. I think so.
There we go.
Courtyard, which was the entrance one. This is the fourth courtyard, the least important one. Original. There was nothing until the interwar period. But then, the first president, Masaryk, he asked his friend, who was a Slovenian architecture plechnik, if he could redesign it become such nice. So it was redesigned into what you see right now. And because they liked it, they decided to call it the fourth courtyard, even though this has nothing to do with monarchy. This was already created during the time of the Republic. So, Pivot. Pivot. We're waiting here because we're going to go this way. Everyone has to go through.
So echoes there.
Ah, okay.
It's cool, it echoes so well. All these different fixtures on top of the buildings, archways.
I'm not a physician. This part of the castle was built when Maria Theresia was reigning. So this part was projected as the residential area. Most of the rooms which were here were used as bedrooms. So in case you would come here to visit our monarch, you would just go somewhere around. And also, because Maria Theresia was very Catholic, so there was also a chapel added to the castle, where the people who were accommodated in there would have a possibility to go to pray. Here in the middle, there is a fountain, and at the top of the fountain, there is that's the coat of arms of Austria. Because Czechia is based on three historic regions: Bohemia in the west, Moravia in the east, and the small Silesia. And for 4 centuries, the Czech lands were part of the Austrian Empire. From the beginning of the 16th century until the end of the First World War. We were part of Austria. The House of Habsburgs was reigning here, and our capital city was Vienna. With one exception, in the 16th century, the Habsburgs Empire was under the attack of the Ottoman Empire. The Turks conquered almost all the Hungary, and they almost reached Vienna. And because Vienna is located very eastern, Rudolf II decided to move his residence somewhere to the west, where it would be much more safer, so he moved from Vienna to Prague.
Wow, next area.
1344, and they finished it 1929. They built it for 6 centuries. Originally, there was a church, and the church was dedicated to St. Vitus, because back then in the 10th century, we had a duke, and his name was Václav. The English version of the name is Wenceslav. It's the person after whom Wenceslav Square in the new town is named after, and he's got also there a statue sitting on a horse in front of the building of the National Museum. So, when he was reigning, he was orienting the politics of the country direction to the German regions of Saxony and Bavaria. And back then in Saxony, we were worshipping St. Vitus.
If you want to go inside, you have to buy a ticket, but the outside is spectacular. This is like a side view of it. It took 6 centuries to complete, just crazy. Look at this view of it. Wow.
is typical for Gothic architecture, the shape of windows like this. Middle Ages, everyone's religious, people are praying all the time, the shape of the hands when people are praying, the shape of the windows. Everything is decorated except of the top of the tower. It's not decorated at all. Why? Because once it burned, and when they build it again, they decided at the tower, there are two clocks. Why? Because the top one are showing hours and the bottom one are showing minutes. If you want to find out what's the time, you have to look at two clocks at the same time. In Prague, we just love having weird clocks. Yeah.
Such an incredible cathedral here in the castle grounds.
This is the original Prague castle before the new royal palace was there. Behind these windows, there is Vladislav Hall, which is the biggest hall here in the castle complex. And to the Vladislav Hall, there was another hall attached over there, and that's where the throne was located. So in the Middle Ages, the kingdom was directed from this part of the castle. This Vladislav Hall. It's used until nowadays for a lot of ceremonial purposes. For example, after our president is elected, has inauguration, so the inauguration takes place here in Vladislav Hall. Every year on the 28th October, we have Republic Day, that's the national holiday as the Republic was founded on this day. Our president is giving honors to the people who did something important for the country. Again, it's happening here. When they expose the royal jewelry, they expose them. But once parts burn, then when they build it again, they build it in a Baroque style. So it has two architecture styles at the same time. But here at this building, there is written Maria Theresia. So Maria Theresia is the woman who left the new royal palace to be built, and she is also the only reigning queen we've ever had in our history. She got the throne 71.
Continuing our walk. The biggest castle complex in the world. Going to explore further. I'm glad I'm with the guide because probably very easy to get lost and have no idea where I'm going. Going down the hill now.